We are officially 9 days away from the 2025 NFL Draft, so ESPN analysts broke down the top 3 rounds and who they think the Patriots will select with their 4 draft picks. If you guys are ready for the 2025 NFL Draft, you're ready to welcome New England Patriots players, and go on ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Mel Kiper and Yates did have a 3-round mock draft 9 days away from the NFL Draft. We're going to be breaking down who they have the Patriots selecting with 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 picks in the 3rd round. We're going to break that down here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'll give you guys my reaction to if I would have selected this player or if I would have gone a different route. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and if you guys haven't already, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me, because on Thursday of this week, we are going to do a live version of our mock draft with all channels here at Chat Sports. So I will be selecting for the New England Patriots, acting as Mike Vrabel and GM Elliott Wolf. We will be live on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Come check out Patriots Today by Chat Sports. That way you guys can see our live mock draft right here at Chat Sports. All right, so as you guys can see here, that Kiper and Yates actually have the Patriots taking Will Campbell with pick number 4. They're going to say that Hunter is going to Cleveland, Carter is going to the Giants, and no Shedeur Sanders in the top 4 picks. Will Campbell to the New England Patriots. Obviously, this seems like the only 2 options for New England. Draft Campbell or trade down. And I do think that trading down could be a good option, but Will Campbell is a phenomenal pick for the Patriots, especially with a fat question mark on the left side of their offensive line. As you guys know, he's a phenomenal pass blocker, 2 sacks allowed, which is huge for a guy like Maye, who was almost a top contender for leading the league in sacks last year. So when you look at a guy like Will Campbell, I mean, this is something that all of you have known about the LSU offensive lineman. The pass block is phenomenal. 80.6, which is going to go a long way for Drake Maye, who really didn't get to utilize his skill set in the passing game too much last year, but now we've gotten him digs, but we need to get him protection. The run block, I actually do not mind a 69.7 grade at the run block. That can obviously open up more gaps for Ramondre Stevenson and Gibson, and then 2 sacks allowed. But overall, his PFF stats here, 866 snaps. Not only was it 2 sacks allowed, but only 5 quarterback hurries in the entire college football season. He had 11 hurries, 5 hits, and then 9 penalties, which, we're not foreign to the penalties on the offensive line for the Patriots, so obviously we'll work on that. But I think that the number one reason why I like Campbell is because a lot of NFL draft analysts are not questioning his transition to the big leagues. And I think that's huge for an offensive lineman that can come in immediately and make his presence known. I think Campbell's a great pick, especially because if you really want to look very far down the line, New England just released David Andrews. That was a captain, a leader, and kind of your cornerstone for the offensive line. Campbell is a Vrabel guy through and through. Amazing in the locker room, great on the field, a very vocal leader. And heck, who knows, maybe in the next 5-10 years, as his season continues and his career continues, he could be our new David Andrews in terms of leadership, communication, and anchoring down that offense. But I will be very open to trading down if it's for the right offer. I have seen a couple of simulations that the New Orleans Saints trade with the Patriots for pick number 4. We drop down to pick number 9. They give us their 2nd round pick and then an early pick in 2026. Those are the type of scenarios where I would rather trade down than take Will Campbell. But I'm not sure there are many teams out there that are going to give New England what they are asking for, which is going to be a plethora of draft picks in the future. A lot of these teams in the top 10 obviously are rebuilding with New England, so it's going to take the right kind of offer for me to pass on Campbell and trade down. So I'll ask you guys this. I know a lot of you have been in the comment section down below saying, Allie, trade. Not opposed to it, but Campbell's a really good option for us to play right now. Would you draft Will Campbell or would you trade down for more picks? Type draft or type trade in the comment section down below if Carter and Hunter are both gone. Now let's move on here to round 2. where Mel Kiper has the New England Patriots in a very surprising move, drafting defensive tackle from Michigan, Kenneth Grant. I think this is way too early to be addressing the defense just yet in the NFL draft because you kind of did that with free agency. Not 100%, but more so filled a lot of the holes and question marks you had going into this season. The reason why Kiper really likes Kenneth Grant is because you picked up Milton Williams in free agency. And there's a big fat question mark surrounding Christian Barmore's health moving into the next year. While the latest reports show us that Barmore is looking good and his energy is high, blood clots could have a mind of their own. So he wants to stick this 330-pound beast of a defensive tackle in with Milton Williams. I'm not opposed to it, but I feel like we still have other areas of need that we can solve in the second round other than bulking up that 3-4 front. But I see why Mel Kiper wants to draft a guy like Kenneth Grant. His sack production wasn't the highest that we did see in college football, but he was an absolute wall. And to pair him with a guy like Milton Williams, who's probably going to handle most of the workload, I'm okay with the sack production. He had 27 pressures on a quarterback as well, and when you're kind of looking at his frame, you're just getting a broad upper half and lower half. Big chest, thick lower thighs, long arms as well. And what I do like about him is that he is capable of playing multiple spots. So just because he's listed as D tackle doesn't mean you have to put him at D tackle. And what I also said about him being a wall is that he's kind of a sponge. He absorbs all of those hits time and time again in college. How that translates to the NFL, we'll have to wait and see, but they do have a little question mark around his burst, his explosion. Because he is 331 pounds, he may be more of a slower defensive tackle than we really need right now. But pairing him up with Milton Williams would definitely be a movie to watch every single Sunday. But Kiper said this: Patriots spent big to land Milton Williams. Grant could be a 331-pound run stopper right next to him. He's explosive and he is instinctive. And I know you can't really teach instinctive. That just kind of comes naturally. So I do think that could be a good transition into the NFL. But like I've said before, I just don't really want to take a defensive tackle in the second round. I think you haven't addressed the wide receiver room. There could be an even better running back that you could maybe add to the offense. I think that free agency did a really good job of addressing a lot of needs on the defensive side. As you guys can see, that this is even re-signing some returners. But we have 11 defensive signings throughout free agency and only 9 on offense. And I'm still considering some of those returners like Austin Hooper in this as well. We picked up a lot in that 3-4 front specifically. Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Milton Williams. So I feel like drafting a defensive tackle that high up, I just don't think it's the number 1 or even the number 2 on our list of priorities in the NFL draft. I personally would like to draft a wide receiver in round 2 if I take an offensive lineman in round 1. Do you guys want the Patriots to draft a wide receiver in round 2? Go on ahead and like this video for me if you guys have not already. All right, we do still have round 3 coming up here in our mock draft from ESPN, which I'm going to break down in just one second. But I do want to tell you guys about the official ticketing partner of Patriots Today by Chat Sports, and that is going to be Game Time. If you guys are looking for tickets to go watch the Patriots later this year, or even watch the Boston Celtics as they do kick off their NBA playoff journey, then now is the time to do so. Boston is trying to do something that has not been done in that city for 56 years, and that is be back-to-back champions. We won last year, hung up banner 18, but now they are trying to reach banner 19, and you guys can be there for the history. You guys can click into the seat that you like, see which price fits you, and then you guys can get a 180 view in the app from your seat before you buy. That way you guys are 100% sure this is where you want to sit. You can go see the Red Sox, the Bruins, go check out your favorite artist, whether it's a concert, a comedy show, or maybe even the theater. So if you guys want to go on ahead and use Game Time, you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed. And not to mention, you are also going to be saving money. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, the theater, or whatever fits you best. If you guys want to go on ahead and download the Game Time app, just use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms do apply. Go on ahead and check it out today, because what time is it? It is game time. Round 3 with pick number 69, Mel Kiper and Field Yates are going to select Kyle Williams, the wide receiver out of Washington State University. So here is where we start to get our wide receiver. 5'10", 190 pounds, 70 receptions, and obviously a 1,000-yard receiver, which is pretty much foreign to New England right now. I do think he would be a very good option, and he is currently listed on Mel Kiper's top 10 for the big board at the wide receiver position, but I just think you can get better wide receivers in round 2, because when you look at a guy like Williams, you are ultimately drafting a wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 4 in our system. And I just think that can be good for depth, but we're still waiting to see what Jalen Polk and Javon Baker can do in their year 2. We actually have plenty of wide receiver depth and not enough star power. Stephon Diggs is the only star that we do have right now in our receiver core. You can call Pop Douglas a star, maybe even Matt Collins, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown type of stars. And Kyle Williams just isn't that just yet. He's another depth piece, which you can't go wrong with technically. But if you took a defensive tackle in your second round, you could still try and draft a better option in round 2, like a Luther Burden III or a Higgins maybe. But Williams, being a backup option, is not 110% bad. He's a very good route runner. He's a very good catch and run type of player as well. But this probably would not be my pick at number 3. If I had it my way, it'd be offensive line in the first round, wide receiver in the second round, and then maybe you can use your defensive tackle in round 3 or pick up a running back. Because I think round 3 is too late for an impactful wide receiver to be paired with Stephon Diggs. And there are some sleepers in round 3, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we've seen thousands of receivers, and maybe hundreds of receivers in the NFL be drafted in round 3. So there are obviously those sleepers that end up producing major numbers in the NFL. I don't know if Williams has that, which is why if wide receiver is on our top 2 of priorities, I would try to get him in the first 2 rounds. But we do have 2 picks in the third round. Thank you once again, Matthew Judon. And they do have the Patriots going back to the offensive line and drafting Wyatt Millam with pick number 77, the offensive line out of West Virginia University. Right now, he is listed as a guard. More importantly, he's listed as a left guard. But he is very interchangeable. He can play the exterior on the offensive line as well. He actually was listed at left tackle for the 2023 West Virginia depth chart. So I am all for a rotational offensive lineman, because I feel like that is a position where we cannot get enough depth with. And a guy like Wyatt, I really like what I'm seeing here from the left side. 0 sacks allowed. The pass block and the run block is incredible. I truly do think he could be a sleeper for the offensive line later in the third round. And in the ACC, it's not terrible. That's some pretty good competition there. I truly don't care if you're playing against Little League, no names. If you are allowing 0 sacks, 0 hits, and only 6 hurries in 706 snaps, it just sounds like you could do wonders with a Josh McDaniels type of offense and a Mike Vrabel type of mind that can start to really produce and try and grow this talent into becoming a franchise player for the Patriots. I actually really like this selection here by Field Yates, and it's also a selection that I really didn't have in my mind. Because I was so focused on possibly drafting a running back in that situation, I thought, hey, why not add another guard that can play on the outside as well? The only thing I have here with Wyatt, because why would I have 100% pros and no cons, is the fact that he's mainly a guard. I think that is a position where we have a lot of depth on the inside and not enough on the outside. And so when you look at what the Patriots have, on your right side, you've got Mike Nwinu, Wes Schweitzer, who we did sign in free agency, Tyrese Robinson, and then you have Lester Cotton. On your left guard side, you don't have as many players, but Cole Strange also doubles as a center and a left guard. You have City So, and then you have Layden Robinson, who was a rookie last year. So we're still trying to find where Robinson is going to fit and if he's going to be the starting left guard. But if he could move to the left side, and you could still possibly keep Will Campbell at your guard position, and then switch over Wyatt to your left tackle, I actually like that young left side to start growing with Drake Maye and protecting him. Because if you put that pass blocking grade between the two of them, Maye's going to have all day to throw to Stephon Diggs. So I do like taking an offensive lineman in round 3 and in round 1, especially if you have 2 picks. Once again, I probably wouldn't take a defensive tackle in round 2. I would maybe take one in round 3, but I would really look for your defensive guys more so towards the back, because at this point, you're kind of just looking for depth in your defense, not so much your starters, because you did sign so many big names on the defensive side in NFL free agency. But this is just one analyst or 2 analysts mock draft 9 days ahead of the NFL draft. Go ahead and grade it for me down below if you guys haven't already. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about Kiper and Yates' 3-round mock draft. And as always, we will be live on Thursday to give you our mock draft as well. Going amongst all the other channels here at Chat Sports, I will be picking for the Patriots. Come join us Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.